loving relationship. We love home, and I guess we started calling Nashville home, in the last 5 to 8 years, and we all kind of moved there separately and met 6 years ago, started the band.
The unique thing about us is that we're literally all from all over the country. Our guitarist Steven grew up in the Philippines and in South Carolina. I grew up in South Carolina. Our bass player grew up in North Carolina. She grew up in Minneapolis. Texas is where our cellist is from, and our drummer's from Denver. So when we all came together in Nashville, it was like this really unique city that allowed for us to feel free. It's kind of like a sanctuary, like one of those places where you always go home and you're always accepted and you're always brought in. And it was a hard market for us to break as a city and as a band, but as a whole, it was always that place that we longed to go home to. So we wrote a song about that idea. Like, it's called The Glow, and it's as we're driving into Nashville about 5 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the morning, like we usually come home in, there's like this haze over the city, and it's just like the most beautiful thing.
We've had a lot of different things happen, like musically, the tone of Nashville has changed because it's gone from really predominantly country to having like Jack White and Dan Auerbach, the Black Keys, really move in and kind of start this rock and roll vibe in Nashville. And there's just so much underground punk music and indie rock music like we do, and it's really become just such a great place to write and to create.
We had a big flood in Nashville about 3 years ago, and one of the things that came out of that was I think people looked at the city in a different way. They looked at it as they were part of it versus just a body just running around it. And so I even feel like community in the last 3 years, whether it be like, there's so many more like community gardens and community fresh markets and things where people are like living together. And there's these new signs that we put up all over the city that I guess we are Nashville. And it's like this idea, which is cool, to be part of a city that has that much of a philosophy behind it. So, it's inspiring as well.
I always listened to my dad's music in the garage, which was like, anything from Springsteen to Mellencamp. But he would always let me put on my favorite like cassette tapes. So I remember like roller skating to Walking on Sunshine and like Aqua and Ace of Base and just like all those classics. So that's kind of, I guess it was kind of a spectrum because then my mom listened to country, so.
My folks, actually, my dad, I think he always listened to more music, so like her dad, I think he had more of an impact, like Randy Newman and Huey Lewis and the News. And then I had an older brother who's about 10 years older than me, so I remember when he gave me OK Computer at like 9, and I'm like, oh, I don't get it. And stuff like that. So I had a really like all over the place. With siblings, you kind of get, I love that.
Yeah.
Like the hand-me-down clothes, but the hand-me-down CDs.
As far as directors go, our video for our latest single, we just like had a tripod and the 6 of us as a band just like pressed record and went for it. So it was really fun. We've always been a band who we just like go for it. We love visuals. We love just being like, okay, well, let's choreograph a dance for 3 bars or whatever it is. And so.
And we couldn't afford Wes Anderson to come in, so we love those movies. They kind of embrace a lot of the ideas and things that we like to talk about. And visually, like we've taken a lot from what he does and tried to put it into what we do when we create art. Hope was more of someone else who created it, but it fit perfectly in line with what we've been doing in the past. And Heartbeat was really just fun. I don't think we thought it was clever. I think we thought it was probably more stupid and fun and just meant to be watched and enjoyed versus critiqued.
I love it because it just shows how much fun we have. I mean, literally, I laugh on the road every day so hard, like belly laugh with these guys. And, just the nicknames of like Cage, and then I do a back walkover, which I've been like, whatever, doing since I was 15.
Working on for forever.
I've been critiquing, since gymnastics in middle school. Or like David eating a peach. It's just so silly, and no one would actually be like, wow, that was incredible directing. It's just fun.
Because the funny part about it too is I think a lot of people could have gone in that situation being like, we're afraid, we don't know how to do this, we can't do it. And because we had brought on a team before it to help us make a video, and so we just dove into it and we're like, we're gonna have fun with it, we're gonna enjoy it, we're gonna spend, $10 buying some tennis balls, and we're gonna figure it out. It was like in the van yesterday, we always find a way to have a good time. And, when the van broke down, we're still listening to Shania Twain singing "Hold On," and having a blast.
I think what we've realized is because we've been on the road so, pretty much solid the last 2 years, we had to really start incorporating life into the road. Like, if we want to stay healthy, we have to try and eat as healthy as we can. If we want to keep up with our loved ones, we need to make efforts to do that. We need to, always be kind to each other, always, just be writing, be creating, be in touch with our art and with each other.
Even when it's really difficult. So
Yeah.
you just find you make the time for it. It's kind of an honor to have this job, if that makes sense. Like, it's not one of those things where you get to sit there and go, "Oh, I'm cool, and I can work on this whenever I want to." It's not. This is a lot of work, and it's something we really want. And so we don't sit there and go, "Oh, we'll just put it off later, or we'll have someone else do it for us." This is our baby.
We're always working, always.